all of you, meaning Madame Rajavi, her organization, all of you that are here, all the heroes at Camp Liberty who had been at Camp Ashraf, you're all on the right side of history. Because what are you doing? You're fighting for freedom. You're fighting for liberty. You're fighting for the dignity of the human being. But it's worth repeating. This organization stands for a democratic alternative to a regime of terror. A regime far worse than the regimes that have been overthrown in that region. Worse than Gaddafi's, worse than Mubarak's, even worse than Assad's. This is a regime that has supported terrorism all over the world, the biggest sponsor of terrorism in the world. So the MEK stands as an alternative to that, a democratic alternative, an alternative that is seeking free elections, rights for women, a secular government, respect for human rights, and a non-nuclear Iran. These are all things we embrace. These are all things decent people all over the world embrace. Madame Rajavi's leadership of this organization and this cause has been nothing short of heroic.
بسیار باعث تأسف ما و خجالت تاریخی این گروه از سیاستمداران غربی هست که در مسیر تمکین به خواسته های رژیم به تعهدات کتبی خود در مورد تضمین امنیت مجاهدین خیانت کردند. انجمن ما در نروژ به روشنگری در مورد نقض وحشیانه حقوق بشر در ایران، وضعیت فاجعه بار زندانیان سیاسی، حمایت از مبارزات خستگی ناپذیر مجاهدین خلق ایران در اشرف، در لیبرتی، به تشریح مواضع مقاومت برای مردم، مطبوعات و سیاستمداران نروژ پرداخته و می‌پردازد. ما تا به حال ده‌ها مقاله در نشریات نروژ به انتشار رسانده و در تعداد بیشماری از تجمعات سیاسی و فرهنگی در حمایت از خانم مریم رجوی و مقاومت ایران شرکت کرده ایم.
Iran has one of the world's youngest populations and also one of the most oppressed populations. Human rights violations affects especially the young people of the country. And as the leader of a youth organization, I wish to express my moral outrage at the increasing number of executions in Iran, as well as the suppression of free speech and the crackdown on courageous Iranian students and youth who raised their voice against the fundamentalist regime. In that regard, I would like to extend my moral support to the youth of the Camp Liberty. They have sacrificed their lives for freedom in their country and are as such massacred, subject to deadly attacks and violated against on everyday basis. I extend them my deepest solidarity.
You know very well, the European Union spent a lot of money to promote human rights in Iraq. And I was coordinating these programs of human rights in Iraq. We've been training police and soldiers on the rule of how to respect human rights. But that training has been used in order to evade the rule of law and the responsibilities. So somebody who is trained in human rights knows better how to defeat human rights. And this is what's going. Because the officials of the government of Iraq, the National Security Advisor has said it openly and publicly that he will not respect human rights vis-à-vis the residents of Ashraf and now Liberty. And yet the European Union, the United States of America, is still supporting them financially and politically. And it's you who will make the difference. Your voice, your tax money. Thank you very much.
Our association was set up to show our solidarity with the youth of Iran and to support them. As Ashraf had clearly become a beacon for the youth movement in Iran and an inspiration and a spur for change, it is no surprise that the Iranian regime had stopped nothing in its efforts to dismantle the camp. On behalf of our association, I want to say to the youth within Iran that we stand with you, we support you, and we salute you. And to the residents of Camp Liberty, in particular the youth there, I want to say that we stand with you, we support you, and we salute you. Thank you very much.
My mother was killed by this regime when I was very young. I may not have much memory of her since I was only 7 years when she was killed, and I will always remain proud of her. She was killed in 1988 when the same people were in power whom now you call moderates, those who oversaw the massacre of 30,000 political prisoners in Iran. Let it be known, she did not die in vain. When you look at yourselves, when you look at the 100,000 who gathered in Paris in support of the People Mujahideen of Iran, look at the uprising in Iran in 2009, and look at the preservance of the political prisoners under torture, you can see her. You can see her message. I can see her in the people of liberty. The mullah's regime will be overthrown. Iran will be free. Nothing shall impede us. We are inspired by the Ashrafis and their perseverance in liberty. We shall stand with them and with the People's Mujahideen of Iran.
My name is Ehsan Tutunchian. I'm an Iranian medical student living in exile here in Norway. During the 88 massacre of 30,000 political prisoners in Iran for supporting PMOI. Unfortunately, during that time, internet didn't exist. By the coordination of PMOI, we have been able to break the wall of censorship of the Iranian regime. During the 2009 uprising, internet and social media created a window to what's going on inside Iran for the rest of the world. And we are here today to promise the students and protesters in Iran and all those freedom fighters in Camp Liberty that we will continue to be your voice until the last days of the overthrow of the entire regime of Iran. Thank you.
از نظر کمیته ما دفاع از اشرفیان یک وظیفه ملی برای هر ایرانی مخالف رژیم آخوندی فارغ از هر عقیده است. اشرفی‌ها سمبل پایداری، استقامت و پرداخت بها برای آزادی هستند و درست در نقطه مقابل کسانی هستند که ایدئولوژی آنها بر بی‌هزینگی استوار است. اشرف یک قطعه زمین یا یک مکان نیست، یک آرمان است، آرمان آزادی مردم ایران و آرمان رها کردن ایران از یوغ فاشیسم مذهبی. به همین دلیل تمام شدنی نیست. این آرمان تا سرنگونی رژیم و تا استقرار یک نظام دموکراتیک در ایران ادامه خواهد داشت. آخوندها برای نابودی اشرف از هیچ جنایتی فروگذار نکردند، زیرا از آن وحشت دارند و در آرمان اشرف نفی تمامیت حاکمیت خود را می‌بینند. فعالیت‌های ما در دفاع از مجاهدین لیبرتی بخشی از مبارزه برای سرنگونی رژیم است، چرا که پایداری مجاهدین لیبرتی قلب نبرد با رژیم آخوندی است. پس ما هم به نیابت از آنها به آخوندها می‌گوییم بجنگ تا بجنگیم.